Well, how good was Kente Edwards? I'm sure he's in our highlight package. Let's take a look at the highlights for today's action.
Wow, I got to take a deep breath here. I mean, the game repack, it started off early. Kente getting loose early, didn't get a chance to get this one in the end zone, but gets it to the 5. And then 2 straight plays later, you get Hosack on a beautiful throw here. And then it was really Kente Edwards from that point. Colgate had no answers for the best running back in the league, and he was over 140 yards at halftime. Here, a nice play. Again, 3 touchdowns today for Matt Fogler. He ends up taking that in on a missed tackle. And then Colgate, again, it was 14-0. Zach Osborne takes it in from 3 yards out. It's a 14-14 game, but Lafayette comes right back and answers. And they answer with a little hitch and go to Carson Persing. A lot of guys getting involved in the pass game today. A really nice route by Fogler there on Jalen Edwards. In and out, cuts that lead, gets that lead to 21-14, and Lafayette comes right back with a youngster. Woolridge on a 28-yard touchdown. Again, interceptions were the key for Lafayette. They took it away. Avery, look at Avery Jones run. Man, he's beautiful. 2 interceptions for him today. And then you turn it loose in the red zone to Kente Edwards, a guy you really can't stop when he gets ahead of steam. Again, another interception here right at the end of the half. I was impressed with Lafayette's game and clock management here. Sterney makes a good tackle. Results in a field goal, a 49-yarder at the end of the half. A blocked field goal coming out of halftime. Exactly what Lafayette didn't need, and I thought Reed Swanson had a nice game, a big target. And watch this catch right there. Wow, beautifully done. Mason Keener showing that he can show off his ability. Again, big sack there by Callahan Blair. And then again, you turn it over to a guy that's just explosive and strong, and he gets stronger. He's got fresh legs. And a big run by Kente Edwards to get that one in the end zone for a 17-point lead again. Just beautifully done. But again, nice young quarterback here for Colgate. He finds Fogler for the 3rd touchdown for Fogler in the game. This ball gets outside. Really nice pick for Gadsden, his 2nd in 2 weeks. Again, playing with that cast on his arm as we take a look at John Troxell. Got to be happy about the win. Got to clean up some things on defense and an opportunity to play for a Patriot League championship in a few weeks.
And Kente Edwards came in number 7 in the country in rushing touchdowns. He certainly has added to that number as Kente with 3 more today. He came in number 4 in the country in yards per carry. Certainly helped that. 13 yards per carry today and 12th in the country in yards per game. And let's go down to Megan and Coach Troxell, and I think we're going to talk to Kente Edwards.
Thanks so much, Gary. Coach, talking pregame when we were reflecting on the game last year, 2 years ago, against Colgate, you said that you hoped that your team had learned their lesson. How did your team show you that they learned their lesson from 2 years ago?
We played to the end. Everything we had. A week ago, our offense didn't play great, and our defense pulled through. Today, we might not have played great on defense, but we did enough, and our offense helped us out a lot.
Speaking of your offense, 59 total points for your offense. What was really clicking on that side of the ball?
I think their experience, when your O-line plays so well up front, it keeps your running game going. Team was able to have time to throw it. So just, it was an exciting day for those guys. They prepared hard all week, and they got the job done for us.
And we can't talk about your offense without talking about Kente Edwards, who had himself a career game, over 260 yards rushing. Wow. How do you put it into perspective, what he has been able to provide for your team this season?
Yeah, he just prepares hard. He loves his teammates. I'm just so happy for him because he's been through a lot, and to have a day like that, obviously, not only means a lot to our team, but probably means a lot to him, too.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Kente, we're going to get you right on over here. Kente, congratulations on a win for you and your team. And in talking about a team effort, really, the defense was able to also help your offense go. A couple big interceptions from your teammates to be able to get you guys on the field. How was it really a team effort?
It feels great to play complementary football. When the defense is creating turnovers, it gives the offense more opportunity to capitalize on that. So a lot of credit goes to the defense, and then we just have to do our job and capitalize after them making plays like that.
And talking about capitalizing on things, you capitalized on every opportunity that was given to you today. I know that we want to talk about team as always, that you are so humble. However, for yourself, a career best game for you. What were you feeling out on the field today?
Honestly, just felt good to be playing back at home because took a couple weeks off in the middle of the season. Had a lot of personal stuff going on, so it felt good to just be back with just teammates that really were there and supportive for me in a hard time. So just having an opportunity to play with them again here, it just pushed me to just really just give everything I have.
Your team is undefeated in Patriot League play. Every single game here matters. Coach was just talking about that in the post-game huddle. When you look at your team and what you guys have been able to do in league play, how do you put that into perspective?
Really just great game plans from the coaches, and then just Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, everybody, offense, defense, just 100% effort, no matter if it's the most minute drill to team period or whatever it is we're doing, just attacking everything with everything we have, and then that just correlates to game day. So just that mentality.
Congratulations. Enjoy this win.
Thank you so much.
Gary and Mike.
All right, Megan, thank you. Megan will go over now to take care of the post-game show. That's coming right up. As we take a look at some of the numbers, they're kind of amazing individually. Dean DeNoble, 18 for 29, that's 62%. 206 yards, 4 touchdowns today. Kente Edwards, 20 carries, 260 yards, 13 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns today. 5 different receivers, Mike, had a touchdown catch today. That's how Dean spread the ball around on the offensive side of the football. It was a day, I guess, because Colgate's offense looked pretty good too, but you give up 42 points and you outscore them by 17.
Yeah, I mean, it was an offensive day, and Schrock's talked about it. Sometimes your offense finds a way. That's what complementary football is. Sometimes your defense is searching a little bit, and we knew Sterney, leading the league in passing coming in here, was be a guy who was going to spread it around. He threw for 235. He ended up turning it over twice, the backup quarterback, so Lafayette gets interceptions. And then they capitalized. I think they scored on every one of those turnovers, including the one at the end of the half. And Kente Edwards is just too much. I mean, he's just too much. If you're going to put 5 in the box and 6 in the box against this experienced offensive line, it's just too much for them. And Kente Edwards is fun to watch, and so is this Lafayette team with an opportunity to play for a Patriot League championship. They're undefeated.
Well, he's fun to watch as long as you're not on the other side of the football. Then he is a bit of a nightmare. All right, they'll travel to Richmond next week, try to go to stay undefeated in the Patriot League to get ready for Lehigh. There you see the numbers, 533 yards of total offense, 7 for 11 on third downs. They create 3 turnovers on the defensive side. That's why the Leopards won today, 59-42. That's it for Mike and myself. John B. Bowman up in the booth with us with our spotting and stats. And we thank all of you so much for watching. Remember, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock when the women play basketball. And, of course, Mike and I and the whole crew will be back here in 2 weeks. You don't want to miss Lafayette Lehigh. Here's Megan.
Thanks so much, Gary. Well, Gary just put it really well. Kente Edwards, a nightmare for opponents, but a pleasure to watch for Lafayette fans. I mean, Phil, our offensive guy, how much fun was he to watch for you today?
Absolutely. I think that's probably a top 5 performance running, right? But also a shout out to that whole offensive line. And the big thing for them is consistency, and not only consistency in the group, but consistency in their play. They have just been so consistent, occupying their blocks, getting up to the next level, so that Kente can make that move and get that extra yardage.
Who has really stood out to you in that unit?
I think just all of them,
yeah.
Right? I mean, they've all played so well. So I don't want to pick anyone out right now, but they've all played so well, and hopefully it will continue on, for the next 2 games, or 3 games, or 4 games.
Well, and John, it might not seem like it when you look at the final score. However, when you were reflecting on this game, you said it felt like there was a little bit of adversity here that Lafayette had to fight back from.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Phil Ing, of course, being the offensive player that he is, was the first one to point out that there were 101 points put up on the board today. He loves that stuff. And before I get into that stuff, it brings to mind a story I heard from Lou Holtz. I could hear the defensive coordinator from Colgate in the film review tomorrow saying to his defense, "Why did you let Kente go for 49 yards?" Well, Coach, that's all he needed. They just could not tackle the kid, and he was running with purpose, and we know the adversity personally he's been through. But John Troxel also talked about the leadership of his team and the way they play for each other. this team shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, but they were unaffected. They responded right away, and I was just really impressed with the way they continue to play for each other. They continue to find a way to win. This team seems to have a special personality, and Phil, I know you played with some outstanding teams here that had that it factor.
Yeah, and again, like you said, we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, but we came back from it. Unfortunately, I think in 2 weeks we can't do that. There's some things we got to clean up. You had a number of drops. That defensive backfield, they're given a lot of ground. They're given a lot of passes. I don't know. I think we have to work on that. Maybe like a little bump and run, more man. Just to get them off their game a little bit.
Offensively, is there anything that you want to see the team clean up as they go into Richmond for next week?
So again, not to be too picky, but I think Dean, just in terms of maybe backing it off a little bit every now and then, when he knows, when he's throwing a deep ball, trust his receiver that they're going to get leverage. Put a little bit more air under it, and he did in that one ball. But I think he missed a couple, earlier balls that could have been a little more air, and could have been a jump ball for it.
And I think also, guys, Lafayette, undefeated in Patriot League play, the opportunity that is there. I mean, when you kind of just take a step back, really, and look at what John Troxell has been able to do with this Lafayette program since coming in, they are potentially going to be playing for a Patriot League title here. And how do you put that into perspective?
Megan, I think when it's all said and done this year, we don't get ahead of ourselves, but one of the games you might look back on is the Holy Cross game, and everybody's saying, well, Lafayette didn't play well. When you cannot bring your best and still find a way to win, that's exactly what happened up at Holy Cross. That's the true mark of a team. It's not going to be perfect week in and week out, but you have to find a way to overcome. Phil and I were talking while you were over talking to Coach Troxell. We were talking about what do you do next week. This win today guarantees that we're playing for a championship.
And that's what I was going to clarify, that we are going to be playing for a Patriot League championship, no matter what happens next week.
Exactly.
Well, you can hear the excitement here from these guys. Lafayette is on the road next week. However, in 2 weeks, the Leopards are back at home to play Lehigh. Always an anticipated game. That's going to do it for us. Be sure you are tuning in 2 weeks from now. From Phil Eng, John Leon. I'm confusing. I have a new last name. I'm confusing everyone's last names. We will see you in 2 weeks, and we cannot wait to wrap up Lafayette's home season.